Good morning everyone, I am Brian. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to take you guys along for a 1-year review over my Milwaukee 4-in-1 installation driver, a little 12 volt install driver, and kind of still compare it to my all-time favorite Festool tool, which is this CXS install driver. Now if you've been following my channel, I've kind of been through a lot with this guy. I bought it, I returned it, and I bought it again, and it's been in my shop for a year. And I'll just go ahead and say it now in case you guys don't want to watch the rest of this video. This thing's awesome. I'm glad I bought it again and put it back in my shop. If I lost it, I would buy it again. There's still some quirks about it that drive me up the wall, but it came in so useful, especially when I was building my camper. This thing is twice the power as the CXS. On average, I can't remember the exact numbers, but I believe it's around 300 inch-pounds of torque. The CXS is around 150 inch-pounds of torque, give or take a few inches there. But so it's twice the animal as the CXS is, and you notice that when you're using it. It is heavier, it's torqueier. I probably bored 30 5/8 inch holes through 2x4s in my camper to run wiring through using a spade bit with this thing. This would have choked up the first time I tried to do that with it. It would not do that. This thing just kind of laughed at me. It did amazing. The attachments that it comes with feel better quality than the Festool attachments. These are all metal, well, mainly metal attachments. There's a heft to them. You can tell they're built very well. The Festool attachments, like the Jacob's Chuck and the right angle attachment, very plasticky, much more lightweight. So it's lighter in your hands when you use this guy versus the Milwaukee. So it's give or take, you know. Again, this thing's much heavier, but it's just a solid little unit. I've been more than impressed with it. But let me go ahead and tell you the things that still drive me nuts about it is that stupid top forward reverse button. I've kind of gotten used to it now, but I'm still so used to the standard forward reverse like on every other drill and like on the CXS. I still prefer this because I can pick it up without looking at it and know which way I'm going. This guy, you don't know. And what I've noticed a lot that I keep doing wrong is I'll pick this thing up after it's been sitting for 5 or 10 minutes and I need to go remove a screw, and I instinctively hit the button on the top to put it in reverse. Well, if it's been sitting for a while, you actually have to hit the button twice to, I guess, kind of turn the drill on. So when you hit that button the first time, it turns it on. Then you have to hit it again to put it in reverse. And I can't tell you how many times I've just picked this up and I've gone to a screw, hit that top button, and it drives it in even deeper. That's the one thing that still drives me crazy about this. So I still don't like that. I guarantee you, well, I can't guarantee you, but I hope that Milwaukee is going to come out with a 2.0 version of this thing and listen to what we're all telling Milwaukee that we hate about this and put an actual toggle switch for the forward reverse on it. I bet you they'll do that. And the other thing is just it's hard to stand up. And then I know you're going to have, you know, your kitchen fitters, your kitchen installer guys that, you know, you don't want to put your drill up, stand it up, because it could risk falling down and damaging your countertops or whatever. But I don't install kitchens. I like to keep my drill standing up, and this can stand up, but just a slight, you know, hit and it's going to fall over. And I thought using one of these bigger M12 batteries would help that, and it actually makes it kind of worse. It makes it more front heavy. So that doesn't work either. So you just have to get used to, if you like to keep your drill standing up, you'll just have to get used to this not being able to achieve that. I mean, like I said, it can if you get it on a nice flat surface and you don't bump it around or anything, it'll stand up. But, and you know, I don't know if Milwaukee did that because, again, typically with these type of install drivers, you're fitting kitchens in, you're putting in cabinets, and you don't want to keep your drill standing up at the risk of it falling down and scratching up someone's, you know, countertops or cabinets. But that's just one thing that bugs me about this, is that, and the forward reverse button. That still drives me crazy. But everything else about this drill I've come to really love. Again, the attachments are just solid as a rock. This Jacob's Chuck probably, you know, is just solid. I mean, it's pure metal. It clicks in real nice. It just feels like a solid unit. Couldn't be happier with it. The right angle saved my life on the camper build because I was having to get in between two studs and drill a hole through the stud to run my wiring, and this right angle could fit right in between the two studs with my spade bit and I could pull it or push it through that stud, and it tore through those studs with a 5/8 inch spade bit. Didn't even, you know, not even a hiccup with this thing using it. I tried to use this and it didn't even get halfway through. But that's not what this is for. This is an install driver. This is an install driver as well, backed with twice as much power as this thing. So, you know, this can function as a light duty drill as well as a more intricate install driver. So it kind of serves two purposes, I guess. And again, the attachments on it are just solid. This eccentric chuck is extremely useful to get into tight spaces, you know, like inside drawers. If you're trying to put a screw inside the drawer at the very bottom, this will get right up underneath the bottom, and you can screw in a, you know, a screw or whatever you're doing right at the very bottom. The CXS does not have that attachment option. Festool does have eccentric chucks for their 18 volt lineup, but not for the CXS lineup. So again, another point for the Milwaukee. So I got a lot of flack when I put this video out a year ago, because everyone said, well, I can tell, you know, who's going to be the winner, because they saw the sustainer boxes behind me. And of course I was going to say I like the CXS more, but after a year of using this thing is amazing. I'm really glad that I have it, and I recommend everyone at least testing out the waters with this thing, because it is a great tool. It's half the cost as the CXS. The attachments, I feel, are much better quality than the CXS. The batteries, the M12 batteries, are cheaper than the Festool little batteries that you can buy. So that's another bonus. So it's just a good, all-around, useful tool to keep in your shop. So with that out of the way, and me stop gushing about the Milwaukee install driver, it gets kind of complicated because I still prefer to use the CXS. It is no secret, and I've mentioned this in several of my videos, that this CXS is probably my favorite tool that I have in my entire shop. It's my go-to. It's what I look for when I need to install screws, or I'm doing installing cabinets or taking apart a toy for the kids. This thing is what I go to look for. It's just the most comfortable tool that I have. To me, personally, it's more comfortable to hold than the Milwaukee. It just conforms to my hand so much better. It's just like an extension to my hand. I know that sounds silly, but it really is. It's so comfortable to hold. It is lighter weight, so it's easier to use than the Milwaukee. You don't get as fatigued using it. And the ability, the trigger on this Festool is just so finite. I mean, you can barely get that tip going. You can run it up. It's just a great trigger. You can really dial in the speed that you want. Now, Milwaukee, you can too, but it just doesn't feel as good. It's hard to quantify it unless you have both in your hands and you've used both. But again, the Festool is probably my most favorite tool in my shop. It's a little bit more plasticky, it's got half the power as the Milwaukee, but it's still my go-to. I have more faith in it. I'm more comfortable using it. So therefore I typically I gravitate toward this tool more when I need to when I'm doing more intricate stuff and I don't want to make a mistake and I don't want to scratch anything. I will grab this all day long. I still recommend this. If you guys are on the fence about a CXS, I can't stress enough, if you do pull the trigger and if you can find one of these now and you buy it, you will be extremely happy with the performance, I think. It's just a great tool. It's hard to quantify how good it is, but once you get it in your hand and you start using it, you can really see the benefits of having this in your shop. So, to beg the question, if I had to pick one, which one would I pick? It's really, really tough. I probably wouldn't pick one. There's no way I could. But if you're on a budget and you don't have a small style install driver, I would probably recommend going with the Milwaukee M12 4-in-1 for the simple fact it's half the cost of the CXS. The attachments are better, the batteries are cheaper, and it's got twice the power. So you're kind of getting a more powerful drill that you can do more stuff with than you can the CXS, and you're getting an install driver that you can do more fine work with. So it's probably a better buy if you don't have if you're on the fence about either one. So I would probably recommend, if you're getting into the market for one of these types of drill drivers, go with the Milwaukee, because you're in my opinion, you're probably getting a little bit better value for your money buying the Milwaukee. If the budget allows for you to, and you've got a ton of drills like I do behind me, CXS all day, man. I can't stress enough how much you'll love the CXS, but that's just my opinion only. There's Festool lovers and there's Festool haters and there's Milwaukee lovers, and you know, once you start talking about tool brands, you can really stir up the pot, it seems like, with these things. But I have both. I love both. I gravitate more to the CXS for the more fine detail type work, but this guy saved my bacon building the camper, and especially with that right angle attachment, it just tore through my 2x4s with the spade bit, and you can feel the power behind this thing. So I do recommend this. It is a great tool, and I have a feeling that Milwaukee again is going to come out with a new version that's going to have the standard forward reverse toggle switch we're all used to down here by the trigger, where you can just pick it up and you know where it's at. I don't know what their marketing folks were thinking when they thought that would be a good idea, but I don't know. I'm not in marketing, but I bet you they're going to change this design here in the near future. But overall, guys, they're both great. They really are both great. But if you're on the fence about either one, you're somewhat on a budget, I would pick this Milwaukee all day over the CXS, because I do think that you get a better value for your money with the Milwaukee over the Festool CXS. Anyway, guys, that is my 1-year review of the Milwaukee 4-in-1. It's been a great addition to the shop. Again, if I lost it, if it got stolen, I would buy it again, because I do use it, and it's come in extremely helpful for me many times this year where the CXS would not have performed the job nearly as well as this Milwaukee actually did. So with that, guys, I don't know if that helped you or not, but this is just my opinion only on these two drill drivers. They seem to have quite the following on both of these, so, and I have both, and so I thought it would be good to express my experiences with both. So there you go, guys. I hope that helped, and until next time, we will see ya. Take care.